Right now, we're all watching this massive, world changing gold rush happen in real time. But instead of pickaxes and shovels, the tools are artificial intelligence. And this absolutely frantic race to adopt it has created this fascinating paradox, one that's costing companies billions. Seriously, think about it like that. A modern gold rush. You've got companies of all sizes, from little startups to global giants, all scrambling into this new territory, completely convinced there are fortunes to be made. They are pouring billions into it, just hoping to stake their claim and strike it rich. And this isn't some tiny niche thing. A huge study from McKinsey found that a staggering 75% of companies are either adopting AI right now or at least exploring it. That's 3 out of every 4 businesses you can think of. The race is definitely on. But here's the million-dollar question, or maybe the billion-dollar question. With all this cash and all this effort getting poured in, is it actually working? Is anyone really finding that gold, or are they all just spending a fortune on really fancy high-tech show? Well, it turns out that for a lot of them, the answer is a resounding no. It seems they're trying to build their AI dreams on some pretty shaky ground. Let's start by looking at small and medium-sized businesses, because that's where you can really see the foundation starting to crumble. And this quote right here, inspired by reports from Reuters and the OECD, just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the problem. Companies are getting totally mesmerized by these super advanced, complex AI models, but they've completely skipped over the first, most essential steps. It's this wild disconnect. On one hand, you have the goal, right? They want the latest and greatest generative AI. But then you look at the reality, and a whole lot of them don't even have fundamental digital tools like a customer database, a CRM, or even basic cloud computing. They're literally trying to build a skyscraper without pouring a foundation first. And this chart really brings it to life. Based on what the OECD found, a huge chunk of these smaller companies just don't have what experts call digital maturity. What that really means is they don't have clean data, they don't have the systems in the cloud, or even the skilled people to run it all. It makes their big leap into AI incredibly risky. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so this is just a problem for smaller companies, right? Wrong. The struggle to get a real return on investment, what we're calling the ROI puzzle, is hitting everyone, even the biggest, most sophisticated organizations out there. Get this. According to a report in the Times of India, even global capability centers, and these are the massive high-tech hubs for the world's biggest corporations, are dealing with the exact same problem. They're investing huge amounts of money in AI, but the results just aren't showing up. And when you see it visually like this, the problem is just so stark. You've got one massive bar for the enormous investment going into AI, and then, next to it, this much, much smaller bar for the actual measurable value they're getting back. That gap represents a multi-billion-dollar headache. So here's the bottom line. Across the board, less than half of organizations can actually quantify, in a meaningful way, the value they're getting from AI. Just let that sink in for a second. More than half are basically flying blind, throwing money at something without a clear, measurable payoff. Okay, so that sounds pretty bleak. If so many companies are struggling, it raises the obvious question, is anyone getting this right? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So let's shift gears and take a look at who's actually solving this puzzle and see what we can learn from them. Let's go back to that gold rush idea. Well, tons of prospectors are coming up with nothing but dirt. A handful of them are absolutely hitting the motherlode. So where are they digging? Where is the real AI gold being found consistently? Well, according to Boston Consulting Group, the gold seems to be concentrated in a few key places. Industries like financial services, tech, and retail are way ahead of the pack. And it makes sense, right? They tend to already have strong data foundations and really clear business cases for how AI can help. And if you drill down even deeper, the value isn't coming from some vague, magical AI concept. It's coming from really specific, practical applications. We're talking about things like totally transforming customer service with smart chatbots, creating hyper-personalized marketing campaigns, and massively speeding up how new products get developed. These are real problems with real, measurable results. All right, so now we have all the pieces of the puzzle. We've seen the problem, this big rush without any preparation. And we've seen the solution, a focused, strategic approach to AI. So the final step is to put it all together and map out a clear path for how to bridge this adoption gap.
And it turns out the path forward is a pretty clear 3-step playbook. Step 1, build a solid digital foundation. Get your data clean, get your systems in order. Step 2, don't try to boil the ocean. Target specific business problems where AI can make the biggest splash. And 3, measure everything. Track your return on investment like a hawk, right from day one.
And that really brings us to the core takeaway of this whole thing. Success in this new AI era isn't really about having the newest, fanciest piece of technology. It's about having the smartest strategy. It's not about the tool, it's about how you decide to use it. So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As AI keeps evolving at this crazy, breathtaking pace, maybe the most important skill isn't going to be understanding artificial intelligence at all. Maybe it's about applying our own human intelligence to decide where, how, and most importantly, why we should use it in the first place.